Good evening. My name is DJ Ennis and welcome to Vote Right for America. In our last episode, we went over more on the egalitarian political economic philosophy, and I discussed how this particular philosophy in regard to the role of government was dangerous to our republic. I pointed out that egalitarian political economic groups are better known as left-leaning, liberal, and progressive, and that their central belief is that government's power needs to be expanded, especially in the area of controlling economic resources and outcomes in order to make life fair and equal for the people. Of the three political parties I have listed that fall under this political economic philosophy, the dominant one in American politics is the Democratic Party. As compared to the Socialist Party USA and the Communist Party USA, it has been a party that has been more moderate to a degree in keeping with the main vision or central egalitarian political economic belief regarding the expansion of government power. For the past 90 years, it has been morphing more and more as a party to that government is the answer to all things economic mentality, that government needs to control resources in order to control, coordinate, and direct an equalized outcome for people, despite their unintended consequences that will cause them to not accomplish their intended goal and leave most people in a worse condition than they were before, except for government bureaucrats and self-serving politicians. Now let's meet the Democratic presidential candidates. As of this moment, there are several candidates running to become the Democratic Party's presidential nominee. Ultimately, the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party will not be officially decided for their party's delegates or by their party's delegates until sometime during their national convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, between July 13th and July 16th of this year. When this vlog is posted, numbers will be rolling in as election officials in South Carolina will be tabulating the results of their state's presidential primary to determine how many of their allotted 54 delegates for the Democratic National Convention will be awarded to the Democratic candidates on their ballots. Democratic voters in South Carolina will decide the fate of the candidates on their ballots. Write-in candidates are not allowed in South Carolina, so they're stuck with those candidates who timely filed to be considered. And here are the candidates who are trying to win the Democratic Party presidential nominee, dedicated to defeating Republican Donald Trump in November of this year, who appeared on the South Carolina primary ballot. First up, we have Bernie Sanders, a senator from Vermont, registered as an independent but caucuses with the Democrats on Capitol Hill, is a self-professed socialist. So far, he's won 12 delegates from the Iowa caucus, 9 delegates from the New Hampshire primary, and 24 delegates from the Nevada caucus, for a total of 45, placing him in first place in delegate count. We'll see if South Carolina Democrat voters will keep him in first place when they finish tabulating their votes. Then we have Pete Buttigieg, the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, running for the presidency for the first time. So far, Buttigieg has won 13 delegates from the Iowa caucus, 9 from the New Hampshire primary, and 3 delegates from the Nevada caucus, for a total of 25. He's in second place in terms of delegate count. Next up is Joe Biden, former Vice President of the United States during the Obama administration, and before that was a U.S. Senator from Delaware who had twice unsuccessfully ran for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. So far, Biden has won 6 delegates from the Iowa caucus, 0 delegates from the New Hampshire primary, and 9 delegates from the Nevada caucus, for a total of 15, placing him in third place in delegate count. And then we have Elizabeth Warren, U.S. Senator from Massachusetts. She won 8 delegates in the Iowa caucus, but didn't win any in New Hampshire and Nevada, placing her in 4th place in delegate count. And here we have Amy Klobuchar, a U.S. Senator from Minnesota. She's a member of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party, which is Minnesota's version of the Democratic Party as such. She has won 1 delegate from the Iowa caucus, 6 delegates from the New Hampshire primary, and didn't win any delegates in the Nevada caucus for a total of 7 delegates, placing her in 5th place among her contenders. Next is Tulsi Gabbard, a congresswoman from the 2nd Congressional District in Hawaii. She has not won any delegates so far. And then there's Tom Steyer, a wealthy hedge fund manager, political activist, environmentalist who decided he would run for president. He has yet to gain any delegates. On the South Carolina Democratic Party primary ballot, there are 5 candidates listed who have dropped out of the race since their initial filing with the state. They are Andrew Yang, John Delaney, Deval Patrick, Michael Bennett, and Cory Booker. Now, I need to mention Michael Bloomberg, billionaire and former mayor of New York City who's not on the South Carolina primary ballot. Bloomberg was once a registered Democrat, switched to being a Republican before he ran for mayor, then he switched to independent, then switched back to Democrat. He is a latecomer for the presidential nomination. Recently, he's been spending a fortune on television ads where he states he's running against Donald Trump in an effort to get ahead of the game. Bloomberg's name will appear on ballots for the Super Tuesday primaries to be held in 3 days on March 3rd. We'll see if his tactic is working. On Super Tuesday, nearly 1,338 delegates will be sought after from 14 states, including the big ones, California and Texas, 6 delegates from the territory of American Samoa, and 13 delegates from Democrats living abroad. The next biggest contests will be on March 10th, on March 17th, Happy St. Patrick's Day, and on April 28th. The final 2 contests will be on June 2nd, which will involve the District of Columbia and 4 states, including New Jersey, with about 126 delegates at stake, and on June 6th, when the Virgin Islands will hold a caucus to decide who gets their 7 allotted delegates. That's the last one, a little more than a month before the Democratic National Convention kicks off. In future episodes, we'll cover some of the specific positions of the top Democratic candidates and correlate them to the egalitarian political economic concept and how wrong they are for our republic. You are watching Vote Right for America. Please subscribe to this vlog. It's free. And you can also email me with your comments and questions at vrfa.djennis@gmail.com. And please comment. I'll use your comments and questions to clear up matters or concerns you have in future episodes. Good evening.